All right, guys, so we're a few days out sitting here with Will Brooks ahead of his big fight against Nik Lentz at UFC Sydney. We're very lucky to have you. You guys were, of course, supposed to have this fight originally at UFC 216. Yeah. And then in the 11th hour, the fight didn't happen. Nik Lentz was removed for medical reasons. What was your reaction when that happened?
You know, I was kind of upset, you know, definitely because you go through a whole training camp and you're prepared to go out there and compete. But I'm lucky I have a great staff of coaches that keep me focused, keep me locked in. So, you know, I was getting a little frustrated, but my coaches pulled me to the side and just had me calm me down, talk me down, and just got me back in the business-like mindset. So, you know, it is what it is. But
what did they say to you? What was the magic word?
Just to let me know that, you know, they were proud of me and all the work that I put in during this training camp, and just to stay focused. And, you know, they know who I am. I'm a pretty religious guy, and I just was trying to make sure I stayed relaxed, and they just told me to make sure I put my faith in God and just trust Him and just continue to be faithful in Him, and He would take care of me. And that's, you know, that's beneficial to have those type of people in your life, you know.
What did you think, though, when this fight got moved to Sydney? And also, like, the positioning, not probably the most advantageous position, a little bit lost in the card. What did you think when you saw the positioning of it and having to fly all the way to Sydney to do this thing?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me, man. I actually had called. I was going to wait until December to try to find a card in December to get on, but that really felt like it was going to be too long, and I was ready to compete. So I called Sean Shelby and I told him, look, I'm ready to go. I'll fight whoever you got for me. And he just told me that it'd probably be easier for me just to, you know, if I really wanted to fight sooner, just to rebook the Nik Lentz fight. So I just told him, hey, rebook it. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to go compete. So let's get it done. So, you know, he told me that this would be the best card to get me on, so I just took it, you know.
There's also the fact that here in Australia, the fight cards start really early. Over in the States, you know, you might be fighting around midnight, maybe just before that. Here you're fighting, you know, first thing in the morning. How do you feel about that? Is that a good thing for you?
No, I mean, it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. I'm pretty neutral in regards to that. You know, I just show up and do my job, you know, whatever time of the day, whatever day of the week, it doesn't really matter to me, you know. So, you know, I'm prepared. I'm ready to go. I've been doing everything I'm supposed to do to be ready to compete here earlier in the day and just be ready to fight, you know.
I want to touch back on that faith, because obviously you're a man of strong faith and you're in a different position in your career than you've really been in a long time. Obviously you've lost fights previously, but this is the 2 fights back to back.
Yeah.
And that can be very difficult. I mean, we've spoken to multiple fighters in the past that handle it very, very differently. Some feel the pressure, others lose a bit of confidence in themselves. You know, how have you been dealing with this, I suppose, part of your career, and what has helped you through this time in your career?
Yeah, man, I mean, it's definitely not ideal, you know. I wasn't planning on coming to the UFC and, you know, going 1-2. That's definitely not what you want to do. But like I said, I have nothing but faith in my God. I always trusted Him. I put all my faith in Him, and I know that He's blessed me with attributes and abilities that not many people possess, you know, in regards to being able to endure a high level of, I guess, stress levels, you know. And I have my wife, my coaches, my friends, my family, people that will always be there when I fall down and I feel like I can't get back up. Those people always lift me up, you know, and they always remind me of who I am and the things that I've overcome in my life. So what we do in regards to mixed martial arts and fighting in the UFC and things like that, for me, I look at that, I'm like, man, that compared to what I've done in my real life, this is just, it's not the same, you know, so I'll overcome this. So staying focused, staying motivated, staying confident in myself is not very hard to do, you know.
Did you have a point at all where you lost confidence in yourself, felt a bit down, or were you strong from the get-go?
Not at all. I mean, you definitely get down, you get bummed out, but as far as being confident, I never lose confidence in myself. I just don't believe I have that ability to do that, you know. You do get a little bit bummed out about it. I think for me, I'm very analytical, so I went back and I just addressed some of the things that I may not have given proper attention to prior to those 2 losses, you know, and address some of those things, and just had to be honest with myself and, you know, look at it and say, have you been really putting the work in? Have you really been passionate about what you're doing? And what are you doing to make sure that you overcome some of these situations that you put yourself in? And I've done that, and I've analyzed it. And again, I've had my coaches, my wife, and people who are close to me help me analyze those things and find answers to those. So I'm good. You know?
It's crazy because obviously you're a former Bellator champion. You've had a huge amount of success in the past and some really, really big fights. Yeah. But where does this one stand as far as the importance? Because a lot of people would look at this one as sort of potentially one of the most important, you know, fights of your career to sort of, you know, really turn things around.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to think about it. You know, like really, like, you have two unranked guys. It really shouldn't be that important, but it really is. You know, when you talk about a guy that used to be a Bellator lightweight champion, you know, and come over to the UFC, and just that process of coming to the UFC. If people followed it, was a little bit of drama that led up to that, you know. So to finally get here and you go 1-2, and people are kind of like, well, this is what we thought it was going to be, you know. So you have a little bit that's mixed up in there, but I mean, at the same time, you know, I try not to put too much pressure on it. I try not to make it too big, you know, just because I know that I fought for a title before. I've been a champion before. I've overcome things in this sport that not many guys get the opportunity to do. You know, I've done it in a very short amount of time too. You know, so for me, it's like another day at work. You know, and again, I think me personally, I was going through a lot of personal things that I needed to get sorted out. So as far as the going 1-2 and, you know, coming back and it's been an important fight, like, I haven't really focused on that. I've been more focused on things in my personal life, you know. So,
So is this the best version of Will Brooks that we've seen in quite some time? Because it seems like you've sorted a lot of those issues out. It seems like you're focusing on different aspects in training that you haven't focused on before. Will we see a different type of Will Brooks in there on Sunday?
Yeah, I think people are going to get a little bit of old Will Brooks, but a lot of new things. You know, I think I've found a new passion for this sport, and you know, I'll be honest, and I'm always pretty honest with everyone. You know, I think I lost a little bit of passion for this sport to compete, you know, and I put a lot of my energy into becoming a father and a husband, you know, and this is a new experience in my life. So I only had like 6 months, 7 months in that new role as a husband and a father to really get comfortable, you know, and I put all my energy into that, which it can be difficult to do sometimes because you have to be, in order to do this business or be in this sport, you have to be somewhat selfish, you know, but being a father and a husband, you have to be selfless, you know, you have to give everything you have to that, and that's what I did, and I'm a very extreme person when it comes to that. So when I realized that, hey, you gotta lay the groundwork to be the best husband and father that you can be and make sure that that's solid, you know, that I put all my energy into that, and I wasn't showing up to the gym on time, and I was showing up to the gym and not putting in the work, you know, and that's one thing that we had to go back and address, you know, and that's something I talked to my wife about, talked to my coaches about, and it was just funny. I took a few months off from the gym, and I came back, and my coaches pulled me to the side. I was like, "Oh, you finally back, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I went on vacation," but they meant like you're back, like they could feel my energy, you know, you're back now, you refocus. So I think we got a lot of things sorted out, so people are going to get the old Will Brooks, but they're going to get a new Will Brooks also, you know.
Exciting times. And speaking of coaches and obviously your gym, American Top Team, Nik Lentz, a former training partner, how do you feel going in there, you know, going against a guy who you've trained with, I would assume extensively, you know, and what is, I guess, the relationship with you guys now that he's left and gone to Combat Club?
Yeah, see, I'm very, like I said, I'm very analytical when it comes to this stuff. You know, I don't get relationships mixed up into it. This is work, you know. If you were still training at ATT and they offered me the fight, no, I don't take the fight. But when you step away from this, from ATT as a team, and you go and join another team, then you're no longer my teammate. You know, that's just how it operates. And in regards to our personal relationship, you know, we were cordial as like friends, like teammate friends type of deal, not like super close or anything like that. So we were kind of close through other friends and things of that nature, so we never really built up a type of relationship where you're just like, oh, even if you leave and go to another gym, oh, I still couldn't do it, you know. So we never built that type of relationship, so it doesn't bother me or, you know, make me think twice about taking that fight. I grew up in a sport. I grew up in football and wrestling, you know, so team-oriented like atmosphere, you know, where it's like, you know, if you're a part of my team, you're my brother. If you leave my team, then like, cool, do the best that you need to do for yourself and your family, but if they mark your name on the list of guys that I have to come after, then you're a target now. So, but in regards to what you were saying, us training together for so long, I don't know if it benefits me or anything like that, because I still show up and I still have the mindset that I'm going to do what I need to do. I don't really concern myself with, do I know you? Do I study you that well, or do I get what you're about and things like that? I train to be the best Will Brooks every single time, and that's it. My coaches and people like that focus on who you are as a person, so, or what you bring as an athlete. So I don't worry about that stuff.
And just quickly, sort of on the training situation, one of the things that Nik Lentz has mentioned before is one of the reasons why he stepped away from ATT was, I guess he felt that the camp was getting sort of too big. There was a lot of different people, and one of the things he said was that certain people were recording him in training sessions. Did you ever hear about that? Do you know anything about that?
I think it's a bit of paranoia. You know, I think it was one of those things where he was trying to. I'll be honest, and I don't like mixing things up. I like being honest at all the times, you know. And I think there was a point where he was getting a little uncomfortable with the new atmosphere that we have. We have a huge facility, you know, and we have people that come in and out and want to take photos with fighters and get autographs and things of that nature. Sometimes it can get a little irritating because we do have a gym full of high-level UFC fighters, Bellator fighters, just high-level fighters, you know. So it can get a little annoying, you know. And once you start getting into training camps and things like that, and you see people coming and going, you do get a little like, who is this guy taking this picture? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? But I also believe our coaching staff and our management staff at the gym do a very, very good job with making sure that people aren't recording practices and workouts and things of that nature. And I think the fans and the people that come in are respectful also. So it might be a little bit of paranoia on his part, but you know, we all have a different way of approaching things, and you never know. He might have subconsciously made the decision that he was going to part ways with ATT, and was maybe looking for a reason to say that, all right, now I got a real reason to leave, you know. So who knows what he did, you know. But you know, best of luck to him, you know.
Well, it's going to be a new and improved Will Brooks this weekend. Quickly, as we wrap up, the prediction. How do you see this turnaround happening? How do you think you're going to be beating Nik Lentz?
I'm going to finish him in the second round.
Do you have a way, or just
No,
the second round?
I'm going to finish him in the second round. I think he's going to get very, very desperate in the first round. He's going to try to push a high pace. I think that's one thing in regards to us training together. I think he thinks that I'm a pretty, I like to coast in fights, you know. I put it in third and just kind of ride it out, you know. And I think a lot of guys believe if they pressure me enough that they can break me or something like that. So I think that might be something that he's going to try to do. But I think he's going to gas himself out. I'm going to touch him up, and then when that second round comes and he's huffing and puffing because he had to go 14-hour flight and he has a hard weight cut and things of that nature, and you know, he's going to find a way out, and I'll show him the exit, and I'm definitely going to put him away in the second round. I guarantee you that.
I love it. There's almost a second gear when you speak about the fight as opposed to when you speak about, you know, your personal life. I love it. So we'll see you this weekend. Obviously, very excited to see the new Will Brooks, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.